Joining us now for more on this, Dr. Ann Tublin, founder and CEO of Relationship Toolbox, and she just returned from Saudi Arabia. Good morning.
Good morning, and it is exciting times to be in the kingdom.
So what was it like in the kingdom now? What was your viewpoint of, are you seeing changes in the economy? Are you seeing the average Saudi individual start to realize these changes, or are we still kind of in the rhetoric and the planning stages for changes at the kingdom?
So it's really, really interesting. So I just came back from giving the keynote address at the Women's Economic Forum. It was the first mixed gender event that took place in the kingdom ever. That in and of itself was a huge transformation. So what you're seeing is the Crown Prince is 32. The demographics are on his side. 70% of the Saudi population is under 30. And the young people, especially the women, absolutely adore everything that he's doing. So it's really very exciting.
You also say that it's a very educated population, in particular that they've made a mistake, and well, not made a mistake, but they're losing a great workforce in women because these women are going overseas, they're getting, you know, MIT, Harvard educations, and then they're coming back to Saudi and not working. And you're saying that that has to change for the Saudi economy.
Absolutely. Listen, oil prices dropped. The projection for future oil demand is on a downward trend. The kingdom has to diversify, and I really believe that this economic reality is behind the transformation that the kingdom is undergoing. The Crown Prince understands that he cannot afford to have 50% of his population stay on the sidelines. And here's what's on his side. The women in Saudi are some of the most educated women in the Arab world. They go abroad with the scholarship that was established by the former king to the most prestigious universities. They get very prestigious degrees, STEM, biochemical engineering, every degree you can imagine. And then they go home and they can't work. So it's absolutely absurd. So the Crown Prince understands that if he is going to drive change, pun intended, he has to have women in the workforce, and part of that is allowing women to drive.
What is the vibe over there, the feeling when it comes to the subsidies? I mean, the subsidies can't continue in many people's minds. With the fall in oil prices, they can't continue these subsidies for the average Saudi resident. But at the same time, that would be like trying to take away our Social Security or our Medicare. What are they saying about that change?
Absolutely, Cheryl, and you hit the nail right on the head. Just think about what kind of uproar occurs in the States when you even talk about changing any type of social entitlement program. However, in Saudi, they have no choice. Because of the drop in oil prices, the kingdom cannot economically sustain these subsidies. Therefore, he has to have the people go back into the workforce, and he's doing that through part of his Saudi Vision 2030. So the money will not be there any longer. The country has to find a way for economic growth, and I believe that's also part of his tour around the world. He has to find a way to entice money abroad to come into the kingdom to invest and create jobs. You have to make the kingdom a social place where, for example, Western women want to go and live there. Therefore, you have to have entertainment, you have to let women drive, and you have to transform the culture.
It's a fascinating time. I'm so glad that you're able to join us after making that trip. We've never seen this in our lifetime anyway.
Thank you. I'd like to leave with one note. What's so fascinating, Cheryl, is that wherever you travel in the world, what you will find is women are more alike than we are different. We share the same hopes and dreams for ourselves, our families, our community, even if the cultural lens through which we can achieve that change is radically different.
Dr. Ann Tublin, and that's what you write about. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.